Hello students, welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Dr. Hemant Sharma from MIT University, Haryana, Gurgaon. Today we are going to talk on module correlation that includes coefficient of determination, testing for significance under the paper quantitative techniques for management decisions. After completing this module, you would be able to understand the meaning and usefulness of correlation analysis, understand different techniques of finding out the correlation, finding out the significance of the correlation coefficient, how to calculate coefficient of correlation and its importance, and how to develop an understanding about various types of the correlation and to understand the significance and limitation of every technique of the correlation. And you would also be able to evaluate the relationship between the variables. You can observe that there is an issue retention of employees in insurance industry in India. Now, in this, a person can be interested in under what circumstances employees prefer to switch over in insurance industry. And for this, he has collected the data as given here. The data is that collected by the person on male and female and on the opinion of the employees working in this industry. Now here you can take an idea that he is actually trying to find out an association of the relation between the gender of the employees and the opinion of those employees about the switch over from one industry to another industry. So correlation analysis is basically something that tries to find out an association or relationship between the two or more number of the variables. Correlation is basically, it is a statistical tool that is measuring the relationship or we can say association between the two or more number of the variables. It is very, very important concept for the researchers that is largely used in the many business organizations and the various departments of the government. If we see the correlation as a statistical tool, its prime objective is to measure the relationship between the variables. Here we are discussing the simple correlation in which we will be considering only two variables for say x1 and x2. Now, how strongly or how moderately these two variables are related to each other, this knowledge is very, very important for any business manager. For example, a business manager or a marketing manager is always interested in the relationship between the price of its product and its market demand. And similarly, he is also interested in knowing the relationship between the different promotional activities and its relationship with the sales of its product. Likewise, our government is always interested in knowing the relationship between the various parameters of the economic activities. For say, what is the relationship between the inflation and the GDP growth of our country, or what is the relationship between the amount of rainfall and the growth of the agriculture sector. So these relationships are usually studied in the correlation analysis. Knowledge of this relationship becomes very, very important. Here I would like to tell that our ultimate objective is to find out the unknown value of one variable with the help of the known value of the other variable. So this can be done only after establishing the correlation between those two variables. Now here we will see that there are different types of the scales: nominal scale, ordinal scale, and interval scale, ratio scale. So depending upon the scale, we use the different techniques to find out the correlation between the variables. In this, we are finding out not only the magnitude of the relationship, we also calculate the direction and the you know the strength of the relationship between the two variables under study. And here R is the Pearson's coefficient of correlation that is mainly and most commonly used in understanding the relationship between the variables, and value of R is ranging between -1 and +1. That means its highest value can be plus minus 1 and its minimum value is equal to 0. And the sign of the Pearson's coefficient of correlation signifies the direction of the relationship. The positive means the positive sign signifies that there is a positive relationship, and negative sign signifies there is a negative relationship. Positive relationship means that variations in both the variables, they are occurring in the same direction. Or I can say when variable x1 and variable x2, when both are increasing, it means variations are taking place in the same direction. Or in the second instance, we can see when x1 is increasing and x2 is decreasing, here variations are taking place in reverse direction. So when variations occur in the same direction, it signifies a positive relationship, and when variations are taking place in the reverse direction or a opposite direction, it signifies a negative relationship. Now here it is very important to understand that existence of correlation does not indicate towards any causation. Causation means cause and effect relationship. It means suppose variables x1 and x2 are highly correlated. It only means that the most of the variations in both the variables are taking place together. That's all. Now they can take place in the same direction in case of the positive relationship. They can take place in the reverse direction, opposite direction in case of the negative relationship. But if they are strongly correlated, it means that there is a strong covariation between the both the variables. But here we cannot say that x variations in x1 variable are taking place because of the variations in the x2 variables. It means here we cannot say that x2 is the cause and x1 is the effect. And similarly, we cannot say that x1 is the cause and x2 is the effect. For example, I take two variables. Suppose the salary of the teachers in Delhi University, and you say the second variable you can take, that is the number of accidents in Delhi. So if I collect a sample, the data for last 10 years, and suppose the value of R comes to be almost 0.8 or 0.9, that signifies a very high degree of correlation. Now if I interpret it that salary of teachers, university professors is the cause and number of accidents is the cause, so it makes no sense. And similarly, if I take number of accidents as the cause and salary of the teachers as the effect, it makes no sense. So which variable is dependent, which variable is independent, it cannot be revealed with the help of the correlation analysis. Correlation analysis only tells us about the common variations in both the variables. It is not talking about the cause and effect relationship between the variables. Types of correlation, there are different criteria based on which we can classify the type of the correlation. So here you can see there it is a positive correlation and negative correlation that is determined by the direction of the change in both the variables. If direction of the change in both the variable is the same, it is a positive relationship, and if variations in both the variables are occurring in the opposite direction, it is a negative relationship. So like amount of rainfall and rice crops. So when rainfall increases, the rice production is also increases. It is a positive correlation. Relationship between the room temperature and the working efficiency in summer. So obviously when the room temperature goes up, the working efficiency of people gets down in the hot summer. Now it could be a simple correlation or multiple correlation. In simple correlation, we find out the relationship between the two variables. In multiple correlation, we try to find out the relationship among three or more than three variables simultaneously. It could also be a partial correlation. In partial correlation, we try to find out the relationship between two variables, assuming the effect of other variables constant. Now we will discuss the different types of the correlation analysis. First, we take the type number one, that is simple correlation. Simple correlation includes only two variables. In this, we try to find out the relationship only between the two variables. And second, we take multiple correlation. In multiple correlation, we are trying to find out the relationship between three or more than three variables simultaneously, combinedly. When we take all variables combinedly and we are trying to find out the relationship among those variables, it is a case of the multiple regression. And partial correlation, what is partial correlation? Again, in this we consider three or more than three variables, but what is the important thing, that in this we try to find out the relationship between any two variables, assuming the effect of all remaining variables constant. So it is very complex one, the partial correlation. And as far as calculation of the multiple correlation and partial correlation is concerned, it is beyond the scope of this module, and these calculations have been described in the separate module. Again, there is another type of the correlation, linear correlation and non-linear correlation. Linear correlation assumes a linear relationship between both the variables. Non-linear relationship may also exist between the variables, that is known as non-linear correlation. Now we will go on the second type of the classification of the correlation. In this, first we see the linear correlation. Linear correlation, when the amount of change in one variable is proportional to the amount of change in the second variable. It is known as the linear relationship between both the variables. And if we plot a graph between both the variables, almost a straight line will appear. Now, non-linear correlation, in this, the proportional, there is not any proportional change between both the variables. Here I can say if variable x1 is increased by 5%, the variable y can increase or decrease by a amount lesser or higher than 5%. But it is not equal to the 5%. So when percentage increase or decrease between both the variables is not the same, it is a case of the non-linear correlation. Methods of correlation. There are different methods available to find out the relationship. It could be a scatter diagram method, Karl Pearson's coefficient of correlation, Spearman rank correlation, or method of the least squares. The method of least square has not been discussed in this module. Now we will look at the different methods to calculate the relationship between two variables. Number one is the graphical method, that is known as the scatter diagram method. In a scatter diagram, we plot a curve between both the variables x and y, and then in data sets we have two observations, one value of x and one value of y. So both the values are two values make one data set. So when these data sets are plotted on a graph, we will get some scattered points on the graph paper. Every scattered point on this graph paper will signify one unique value of variable x and one value of variable y. So when we observe these scattered points on the graph paper, and there is and these points are moving in the same direction or they appear to be moving in the opposite direction, so in that case we can say that there can be a positive or negative relationship between both the variables. But here important thing is the scatteredness of these points on the graph paper, that is of the prime concern for the researcher. More the scatteredness, more the variations of the data points on the graph paper will signify a weak linear relationship between the variables. And if the fluctuations or the scatteredness of these points on the graph paper is lesser, then we can say that both variables are linearly related. So it depends. The important thing is here that with the help of the scatter diagram, we can only get an idea about the type of the relationship, whether it is positive or it is negative. But as far as the exact magnitude of the relationship is concerned, it cannot be revealed with the help of the scattered diagram. Now, if we talk about the merits of this method, obviously it is a very good method, very simple method to take a prime idea or preliminary idea between about the relationship between both the variables. And as far as demerit or disadvantage of this method is concerned, obviously it cannot measure the exact magnitude between the relationship between both the variables. You can see the various types of the relationship between two variables x and y. So if the scatteredness of the data points is higher, that will signify a weak relationship, and as the scatteredness get less and less, so it means we tend to towards a higher linear relationship between both the variables. Now in this slide you can see the different types of the scatter diagram. So when value of r is equal to 1, it is a perfect linear relationship. When value of r is equal to minus 1, again it is a perfect linear relationship, but in the with a negative slope. And when value is equal to r is equal to 0, so here you can see that the data points are highly scattered, and though they are making a pattern, but it is not a linear pattern. So in that case, value of r is equal to 0. One can note here, value of r is equal to 0 doesn't mean that there is no relationship between both the variables. It means there is no linear relationship between the variables. Other types of the relationship may exist. Now direction of the relationship, it can be positive, it can be negative. I have already discussed it. Karl Pearson's coefficient of correlation, its calculation has been discussed in detail. This is the formula. This is the formula to calculate the Karl Pearson's coefficient of correlation. So here dx dy are the deviations from the actual mean, and we can also take the deviation from the assumed mean. In the second formula you can see dx dy dx sigma dy, these all are the deviations from the assumed mean. So I also advise to use the second formula to calculate the Pearson's coefficient of correlation because of the ease in calculating the value of dx and dy. Now in this slide you can see that there are two variables y and x, and you can calculate the mean value of y, you can calculate the mean value of x, you can also calculate dy by taking the deviation from the actual mean, dx by taking the deviation from the actual mean, then you can calculate dx into dy. You can get the value of sigma dx into dy, that is equal to 612. You can calculate the value of sigma d square y, that is equal to 508. You can calculate the value of sigma d square x, that is equal to 1338.50. So putting all the values in the first formula, you get the value of r is equal to 0.74. 0.74, it means value of r is equal to 0.547. It means around 54% variations in both the variables are the same. The source of remaining variations is unknown in this study. We can also calculate the coefficient of correlation by variate frequencies when we are given with the two variables along with their frequencies using this formula. Now we will discuss the Pearson's coefficient of correlation, that is most widely used method to find out the relationship between both the variables. So in this, I will also explain this method with the help of a practical example. But before discussing that example, please, I would like to explain the complete process to how to calculate the R. So here you see the first step is, first of all we need to calculate the actual mean of variable x and variable y. Then we can calculate the deviations dx and dy for both the variables in the given data set. And next we can calculate dx into dy, and at the same time we can also calculate sigma dx square and sigma dy square. Now we know the formula of Pearson's coefficient of correlation R, that is sigma dx into dy upon sigma d square x multiply by sigma dy square under root. Now we can put all these values in the formula and we can get the value of the R. So here you can see that value of R is ranging between 0 and plus minus 1. So if it is less than 0.7, it is less than 0.2, negligible. If it is between zero point 0.2 and zero point 0.4, weak association. If it is between zero point 0.9 and 1, it is a very strong relationship. Limitations of the Pearson's coefficient: it assumes a linear relationship only. It interprets the value of R is usually very difficult for the people, and value of correlation coefficient is affected by the extreme values, time consuming method. Statistical significance of the coefficient of correlation can be calculated using the t-test, in which actually we calculate the Pearson's coefficient of correlation for a sample, and on the basis of this value of R we try to give a suggestion about the relationship in the entire population. So we can find out it using the t-test, where we assume that there is no linear relationship in the actual population, and value of R is compared with the 0 using the following formula of the t-test. Here n minus 2 is the degree of freedom, and when if the value of t is found to be significant, we will reject the null hypothesis that there is no linear relationship, and we will be accepting the alternative hypothesis, that is a strong linear relationship exists in the population. So it can be done using the t-test. Now size of sample is also very important as far as the statistical significance of the R is concerned. Size of sample is prime importance. So sometimes, in the small size sample, a small value of R becomes very significant. For example, a value of R is equal to 0.20 can be statistically significant when the sample size is 100. Now you can see R is equal to 0.20, it means R square is equal to 0.04, that is only 4% variations are occurring together in both the variables. So it cannot be significant. So size of sample should be adequate enough when we are trying to measure the significance of the sample. Usually small size sample requires higher correlation for the significance, and large sample size require lower correlation for the significance. Measures of association for the ordinal data. So here we are concerned with the rank correlation, and it can be measured with the help of the rank correlation, or we can also say Spearman coefficient of correlation. Here you can see the formula to calculate the Spearman coefficient of correlation. Here D is the difference of ranks between paired items in two series, and N total number of the observation. As far as interpretation of rank correlation is concerned, it is absolutely same to the Pearson's coefficient of correlation. Here, how to assign the rank to different values of the variables, particularly when ranks are equal. So here we face a little bit difficulty. Otherwise, rank correlation is very good in case of the rank data. Merits of Spearman correlation. This method is very simple to understand and easy to apply compared to the Karl-Pearson's correlation method. This method is very useful when are given with the ranks, not the actual value of the data. And this method is to be used where initial data is in the form of the rank. And disadvantages of Spearman's coefficient of correlation: it cannot be used for finding out the correlation in a group frequency distribution. This method should be applied where n exceeds 30. Now, it is good to appreciate the limitations of the Pearson's coefficient of correlation right at this point of time. Number one limitation of Pearson's coefficient of correlation is that it gives an idea about only the linear relationship between both the variables. It is not talking about any other type of the relationship, like it could be a curvilinear relationship, it could be exponential relationship, it could be any kind of the relationship except the linear relationship. So as the value of r increases, the strength of the relationship between both the variable also increases. But sometimes many researchers or many students, they do a mistake in interpretation of the r, value of r. R is, suppose value of r is equal to 0.8, and most of the people will interpret it as 80% variations in both the variables are taking place together. So it is not like that. For the knowledge of the common variations between both the variables, we need to calculate the value of r square. That is known as the coefficient of codetermination. So when r is equal to 0.8, so r square would be 0.64. It means 64% variations between both the variables are common. And second important limitation of r is that it is not following the rules of the proportionality. That means if value of r is equal to 0.44 and value of r is equal to 0.8, so we cannot say that in the second case strength of the linear relationship between both the variables is just double compared to the case number 1. So it is not like that. If we want to have the knowledge about the common variations between both the variables, we have to go for the r square. And very important limitation of the correlation, that it signifies only the linear relationship. Suppose r is equal to 0, it doesn't mean that both variables are not related to each other. It means that there is no linear relationship between both the variables. There cannot be any linear relationship, but there can be any other type of the relation between both the variables. So this is the biggest, limitation of the Pearson's coefficient of correlation. Now here it would be important to note that existence of a strong correlation between two variables does not necessarily indicate towards a causation. It means if two variables are strongly correlated with each other, it doesn't mean that there is a necessarily cause and effect relationship between both the variables. But its reverse is true. If there is a cause and effect relationship between both the variables, it means those variables are also strongly correlated with each other. So this is very important knowledge about the coefficient of correlation, that causation is a different concept and correlation is a different concept. For establishing the causation between both the variables, we need to go for the study of the covariations between both the variables. So that is another story. And second important thing in the correlation analysis is that sometimes we are misinterpreting the high value of the R. Suppose their value of R is 0.9 for two variables. One variables is the salary, sorry, number of the accidents in Delhi, and second, sale of hero bikes in the Mumbai. Now we take these two variables and the value of R comes to be 0.9. So one may interpret that there is a very strong correlation between both the variables, but if we think over it logically, it makes no sense. So here we have wrongly interpreted the relationship between both the variables. Actually, there is no relationship. So it is known as the nonsense relationship or spurious correlation. So we must avoid from this type of the misinterpretation in the correlation analysis. So students, now we can summarize what we have learned in this module. Mainly we have covered the Pearson's coefficient of correlation, how to calculate it, and what are the limitations and what are the most common mistakes in the interpretation of the Pearson's coefficient of correlation. Now if we see the calculation of it is a little bit complex, because here we need to calculate the deviations and then the square of the deviations and then put all the values in the formula. And now here it would be good to see here that value of R depends upon the actual values of the variables. So in case of any extreme values, sometimes there may be some outliers in the x or in the y, in any of the variables. So in case of the presence of the outliers, the value of R will be affected to a great extent, and that will give you a wrong idea about the relationship between both the variables. So whenever we go to calculate the Pearson's coefficient of correlation to take an idea between the relationship of any two variable, it is always good first to see whether there is no outliers are present in both the variables. First you need to remove those outliers, only then consider that data set for the calculation of the R. And Spearman correlation, it is also a very good technique to find out the relationship, but it is mainly used when you are given with the rank data. Rank data means when you have collected the data using the ordinal scale. So it is also a very good technique to calculate the relationship between both the variables, but here important thing is that the rank, how to assign the rank to different values of the variables, that is a very complex phenomena or a very complex story. And if we see the difference between the Spearman and Pearson's coefficient of correlation, no doubt it is very simple to calculate. Spearman coefficient of correlation, very simple to calculate compared to the Pearson's coefficient of correlation, but as far as accuracy of the strength between the variable is concerned, that is certainly much higher in case of the Pearson's coefficient of correlation. Now after this, our main objective is to go understand the regression analysis. Thank you.